So I'm 1 month into living on my $1 boat, and yeah, it's a little chaotic still, but we made a lot of progress. I have running water, so this pile of dishes is entirely my own fault. I have a gas stove so that I can make my coffee in the morning, although the oven doesn't work yet. And I have a couple AC outlets, but not all of them yet. It's a good place to start. I've got a home, sort of. It's not luxurious, but it works. Oh, I also have a functioning bathroom, which I need to go use. Not a terrible setup, but there's still a lot of work to do, and every day it gets a little bit better. This is one of my new favorite boat tools. It's a long, extendy, bendy stick with prongs that you can open up with a little finger button. I don't know what it's called, but I bought one recently and use it all the time. I have a very deep bilge. It's hard to get to the bottom of it. And literally everything you drop ever. I mean, I feel like I could drop something on my friend's boat and it would end up in my bilge somehow. Anyway, everything's down here, so it's going to take a long time, but there's lots of rusted, awful debris down here. And I got to pick out every little piece that's too big for the vacuum. Oh, what's this? I think that was the plumber. That's 2 boat owners ago. It took a lot longer than it would probably on a normal boat, but Perry-Hinian's bilges are next level. They are so deep. So I just feel like before I put the new exhaust in, I should make sure that it's all clean and done properly. And there's a few things I want to modify. So we're gonna do some sanding and clear up a few of the catching points. And my goal is to end up with a bilge that kind of stays clean. I want to have all the tubing and wiring off the bilge floor. I want to be able to just, if water hits the bilge, it just pulls everything to the lowest point. It doesn't pool or sit anywhere. So I haven't really had that on a boat yet, but since you have a fiberglass boat, you can make that possible. You can make that happen. And ideally, it's going to happen to this boat. So it's a great way to start. Nice clean foundation. Okay, well, we got the bilge painted. Really, it's just the section that was most important to me, which is where the exhaust is going to run. And now that the exhaust tube is in, we can cut it and wait. Once this is dry, we can start installing it all again. And that brings up the very important topic of marine exhausts and wet exhausts and how they're different than normal exhausts on a car. Why do they call it wet exhaust? Well, they call it wet exhaust because the raw water that's in the ocean, salt water, gets pulled up into the engine, pumped around through the heat exchangers, or in some cases pumped through the engine itself, but in my case, the heat exchangers that cool down the coolant. So instead of having an air-cooled radiator like you do in a car, I have a water-cooled radiator that uses salt water. Now that salt water has to go somewhere. So right after the turbo, there's an elbow, and that elbow is often a problem on marine diesel engines because that's where the salt water meets the hot exhaust coming out of the engine. And it's sort of a double sleeve where the hot exhaust is going on the inside and there's a jacket of salt water that's already been warmed up by all the heat exchangers hitting that already very hot exhaust, and then after the elbow is done, it combining with the exhaust. So now we have a mixture of carbon dioxide, some other chemicals, and in gaseous form, and then salt water. Extremely corrosive. So those elbows, they go bad very often. And luckily mine seems to be in pretty good nick. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to get all of that out of your boat. Now, before it goes out of the boat, in my case, it's going to go through a water lock muffler. So this is a muffler, but unlike the one in your car that's made of metal or stainless steel if you're fancy, this one's actually made of plastic. So it's extremely light, and it can be made of plastic because at this point, by the time it hits here, the water has mixed with the exhaust and the exhaust is no longer hot. So, I mean, it's warm, but it's not hot. It's not going to melt this plastic. And that's also why, instead of having stainless tubing piping all of this out, I have steel reinforced kind of, I don't know, synthetic rubber hosing. As you can see, it's quite thick, it's incredibly stiff, but they also use this to fill fuel lines. So it's very corrosion resistant, and you can't be compressed in, and it's pretty resilient. So it'll go from the elbow on the turbo to that muffler, and from the muffler out the back of the boat. And that's it. So let's go get it installed. Well, that's not ideal. Oh god, I'm gonna have to take it apart and just make sure that nothing else is broken, because that might just be a symptom of a larger problem. God damn it. It's so dusty. You know, cast aluminum, bro. Not great. That's gonna be expensive. All right, well, that is a bit of a setback, bit of a bummer. Spend about $2,000 on a new turbo. I might actually get a new elbow while I'm there, because that one it still works, I think, but it's one of those things that like fails pretty often. So I feel like now is probably a good time to just replace it and get a gasket kit and give everything else a solid cleaning and maybe a painting. I want to get in on this transmission too, because it is extremely rusty, and I'm a little worried about it. I don't know why it is so rusty compared to everything else, but I'll give it a really tough, hard scrub down, and then I've got some blue steel to cover it in, and then maybe some enamel paint after that. I figure this is a good time to shout out my Patreon, and big thanks to those of you who've been following me on Patreon for years and years and years. It's really a small group of folks who've been just keeping me going for quite a long time. I've been posting all of my Japanese and Taiwanese travels as Patreon only exclusives recently, since they were doing so poorly from the algorithm, and I didn't want to like hurt my channel too badly. They're really great episodes. I'm really proud of them, but they're on Patreon only for now. Yeah, so give that a look if you guys are into it. I could surely use the help to pay for the damn turbo. It's not too bad. I mean, $2,000 for a Volvo part, it's not bad at all, actually. But anyway, just another expense. All right, we're back in the workshop, and scrub as I might, I'm not getting this turbo to kind of come open and actually start spinning. So I think we're going to take the cowling off of this thing and clear out all of this salty, grimy debris that's still in there. Alright, so 1 month in, this is where I'm at. We have, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's kind of how it goes on boats. And this was a bit of a curveball. I wasn't expecting this because I did fire this engine up before I demolished the engine room. I did do some work to it, and I thought it was running pretty good back then. But this turbo was buried under a bunch of shelving, and so who knows what was going on back there. And it's not like I put it under load or really tested it thoroughly. So maybe my own doing, most likely my own doing. Anyway, here we are, and we'll get a new turbo in. I'm not going to throw this one out, and I have welded cast aluminum before. I'd rather not, but I might if I can't find a replacement housing like this and maybe a new impeller and get the new bearings in this thing, and then I'll have a backup turbo, because anytime you have a turbo diesel on a marine environment, there's kind of an expendable component. They do go from time to time, fairly, well, more regularly than most of the other internal combustion parts that you're going to have to replace. It's like turbos a lot. So it'd be nice to have a backup. So if I can get this one back into decent condition without spending, more than $2,000, then I'd be pretty happy with that. Anyway, that's it. That's my life right now. It's been a month in, and I'm enjoying it, but I still got a 20-foot hole in my boat and lots of work to do. So, well, I better get to it. See you guys next week.